What's going on, everyone? It's your boy, the Fantasy Football Almanac, back at it with another Best Ball Draft video. Today we're hopping Best Ball Mania 3, and we got freaking Derrick Henry off at the first overall pick. Anyways, if you guys do enjoy this Best Ball type of content, please go down, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Really would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much. With that out of the way, let's hop right into this video. We got Derrick Henry off at pick 1. There's potential we could get Cooper Kupp or Jamar Chase here if we get one more reach. Either one would honestly be so really happy for me. I would be ecstatic. Doesn't happen though. We instead take Austin Ekeler here. Austin Ekeler, a guy I really like. A guy we could potentially pair up at 18 with Saquon Barkley. A guy we could pair up with Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara. There's a lot of guys here that I think I could pair up with Austin Ekeler and be really happy with. We'll see though. Anyways, Austin Ekeler, a really good way to start your draft. I mean, Austin Ekeler, a guy who had 20 touchdowns last season, a guy who can totally boom in one of the best offenses in the entire league. I am more than fine with him here. Usually, Derrick Henry not coming off the board pick 1. That is a little bit crazy here. But nonetheless, I mean, I actually don't mind the Derrick Henry pick as much. Derrick Henry, a guy I am a little concerned with efficiency-wise because right now the offense looks pretty bad, honestly. You got Tannehill. Treylon Burks doesn't look all that good. There really is a lot of concerns about the Titans right now. So I kind of want to stay away from Derrick Henry at this point. But an absolute beast, a warlord of a human being. I mean, guy is like absolutely. I hate to use the word built different, but the guy's literally built different. I mean, he is just a man among boys out there. So I understand taking Derrick Henry just from a physical frame standpoint, but overall, I would not take him there. I do prefer Austin Ekeler over him. I do prefer Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey. I do understand, though. It is a good pick. We do have 5 running backs in a row off the board here. I'm imagining I probably get Alvin Kamara here, but the other guy I would want is Joe Mixon. Either one of these guys I would be absolutely fine with here. We'll see, though. Najee Harris comes off the board. Hopefully we could just get one person. Maybe somebody takes Aaron Jones, because I would be okay with DeAndre Swift here. Although I would prefer Kamara and I would prefer Mixon. We do have Kamara coming off the board here. Let's see. I don't really want Aaron Jones like that. We got Joe Mixon off the board here as well. I imagine DeAndre Swift comes off the board. But potentially Deebo Samuel comes off the board. Okay, we're going to take Deebo here. A guy who, yes, is due for regression. But at the same time, I think is being overfaded for the sake of regression. I mean, guy was the wide receiver 2 last season. Every single year, the top wide receiver scores 300 fantasy points. Last year, Deebo scored 300 fantasy points. The year before that, Devontae Adams, 300 fantasy points. The year before that, Michael Thomas, 300 fantasy points. It's just that Cooper Kupp had such a ridiculous season last season that now it's like a new bar has been set. And everybody almost forgot Deebo Samuel was so good last season. So that's why I do like Deebo. I think he's being overhated, honestly. At first, I was really off Deebo. Like, just looking at the offseason, I was like, he's a guy due for regression. And he is. And he's a guy who has more competition in this offense now, which he does in a way. Brandon Ayuk should be better. But I don't think Brandon Ayuk is going to be all that. I think he'll be good. Certainly. Definitely better than he was last season. Brandon Ayuk was a guy I was heavily bought into last season. And he totally burned me. But at the same time, I mean, I think Brandon Ayuk should be better this season. But that only helps the efficiency of Deebo Samuel. Because Deebo clearly is a guy they know how to use. Clearly a guy they like in this offense. So I still am fine with Deebo here. Anyways, we got Mike Evans coming off the board at 22. A guy who has been falling down the boards a fair amount. And I guess it does make sense. I mean, there's just all negatives for Mike Evans at this point. I mean, the fact that Chris Godwin's recovery is looking great. The fact that Julio Jones was brought in here. Tom Brady missing almost 2 weeks of training camp. Because Lord knows why. I mean, really nobody does. But either way, I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on. So with Mike Evans, I still think he's a fine pick here, though. A guy I would like to double up with potentially here at the 1-2 turn. But doesn't happen. We still have Tyreek Hill on the board, though. Leonard Fournette also still on the board. Leonard Fournette, another guy dropping down due to question marks, but I'm not too worried. Again, it's all about the ceiling in these type of drafts, so I'm shooting for the highest upside possible here. Also, T. Higgins still on the board. A guy who has been dropping down a little bit as well, but a guy I do really like. One of the most efficient wide receivers in the entire league. If he had played a full 17 games, would have finished 6th in total yards if he, had continued on the same pace that he had through 13 games, which it does seem likely. Wow, we have Tyreek Hill still on the board here. Tyreek Hill, oh my god. Why? What the heck is this guy's team? This guy's team is insane. We are most likely going to go... We're going to go with DJ Moore here. Just because I do like DJ Moore a fair amount. I think his quarterback situation is the best he's ever had, which is sad but true. He should be better this season. I think he could easily put up a top 12 wide receiver season. And he's going to be pretty damn good. But we are 9 picks away now. This is not really... I kind of hate having the 7th pick, honestly. There's so many teardrop buffs here. I mean, for one, we get sniped on Jamar Chase. 2, we get sniped on Tyreek Hill. This guy's team is just so nice. I just wish I could have a team like this. It's just so nice, man. I would have gone Mark Andrews here instead of Aaron Jones, but gripes are gripes. This team is just so nice. Guy's probably ecstatic with the picks he's gotten here. Josh Allen comes off the board. There's still a lot of wide receivers I like here, which is the one problem with this range. There's just so many good wide receivers that have some question marks, but this is probably the order of dudes I would take. In this order is the order I would take these dudes. We get a Hollywood coming off the board, though. I would want Sutton the most, realistically. We do have two of the guys we did want here taking off the board. I don't want a guy like Zeke. We're just getting sniped on everybody. Makes sense, though, but... I guess I would take Judy here, realistically, or Juju. Juju's a guy I'm kind of higher on. Either Judy or Juju, because I imagine Robinson will be off the board here as well. Robinson's a risk I think is worth taking here. We'll see if he even makes it back to us, though, because we've been getting sniped every time. But we'll see if he makes it back to us here. He does. Wow. Okay, so we're going to take A-Rob here. We're going to get a third good wide receiver. Our wide receiver room's really good, and we do have Austin Eckler. So we're going to be running a hero RB type of strategy, which is a strategy I really like. Let me know down in the comments below. What's your favorite type of strategy in these best ball drafts? Because I know it's different for everybody. Some people, like this guy, he likes to go running backs early here. So does this guy. Goes to Derrick Henry at 1. But let me know down in the comments below. Are you going running back heavy? Are you going wide receiver heavy? And what's your reasoning? Because I know... there is a lot of different things going on, a lot of things at play in drafts you can't really account for. But what's your reasoning for going wide receiver heavy, running back heavy, and the whole gist of, pretty much everything. Also, subscribe to the channel. It would really mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much. A.J. Dillon coming off the board over Breece Hall. Whew. George Kittle, a guy finally coming back up these boards again a little bit. I don't get all the George Kittle hate. I think George Kittle's a beast. Here, we could get, honestly, a full San Fran stack, potentially, if we do end up with George Kittle here. Terry McLaurin off the board. Breece Hall would be a guy I'm fine with. Deontay would be a guy I'm fine with. I was just going to say Chris Godwin would be a guy I'm fine with. I do love this 5th round, although I feel like a lot of the guys that I like are starting to get pushed into the 4th round, which is a little unfortunate, but it is okay. And then in the next round, Jalen Hurts, Trey Lance, I'm fine with as well. Well, I guess just for positional need, Kittle would probably be the best pick, but I'm fine with any of these 3 guys. We are 4 picks away now, so we need 2 reaches here. 2 pretty decent reaches. Like an Amon-Ra St. Brown or Rashad Bateman off the board would make my day. Darren Waller, a guy who's been following a ton, honestly, because of injury and contract rumors, but not a guy I was on pretty much ever. We got Rashad Bateman off the board. We need 1 more reach to end up with one of these guys. Both these guys have tight ends here, so... Let me see. Pitts and Andrews, I think? Yes, Pitts and Andrews. So, it is possible we do end up with George Kittle here. It is also possible not, though, because, at 54, this guy could easily go Kittle here. We do have Breece Hall off the board. That is one of the 3. Let's go. He takes Amon-Ra. I'm fine with either of these players. I guess since we do have a pretty good wide receiver room, I'd prefer Kittle here slightly, but I wouldn't be mad either way. I do think Deontay Johnson's absolutely phenomenal wide receiver too. And I think on Sleeper, or on Underdog, he is going a little low here. I would definitely prefer him over Amon-Ra, prefer him over Bateman, Brandon Cooks, Godwin, McLaurin, all these guys pretty much I would prefer him over. He still did put up 1,100 yards and had the second most targets in the entire league. I don't get the Deontay Johnson hate. I have him low, I think, in my opinion, but I think Sleeper has him too low here. He's pretty much a coin toss between him and Juju for me here. Pretty much a coin toss. I mean, I really can't even decide because Juju's in a much better offense. Deontay's a much better receiver. But I am glad here we do end up with Kittle. I think the plan would be at 66 to take Trey Lance here, even though, yes, it is a reach. We did get Kittle at a little bit of a discount. Actually, no. You know what? We're not going to take Trey Lance here, and the reason why we're not going to take Trey Lance is because I think he could fall realistically. We're probably going to take Mooney here if he falls, if not Lazard. Oh, or Montgomery. I didn't realize Montgomery was on the board. Montgomery, a guy I really like as well. A guy I probably will consider taking here. And a guy I do really like. I don't get all the Montgomery hate, to be honest. Guy finished as the running back 4 in 2020. Last season finished as the running back 19 despite injury, only playing 13 games. Dameon Pierce, this is getting absolutely out of hand. He'll be a good running back, but a good running back for the Houston Texans. He'll have volume, certainly. I think in Sleeper, he's an absolute steal where he's going right now. I mean, I would consider taking him in like the 8th round, something like that. But at the end of the 5th, beginning of the 6th, I can't. It's not justifiable. It's not. But there are still guys I like here on the board, whether it be Mooney, whether it be Montgomery. I guess the 2 Chicago Bears here. I'm not taking DK Metcalf. I think this is actually around where I have him now. He's a guy who's been falling down my board. I think I have him as my wide receiver 35. We got Mooney off the board, though, making our decision a bit easier. On Montgomery, though. Worst comes to worst, we'll go Lazard here. But I think Trey Lance is going to be a guy who falls because of the news Jimmy G is back. Although, I don't think it's deserved at all. I mean, Trey Lance is definitely still going to be the starting quarterback. If you're bought into Trey Lance, why not still buy into him if he's going to go lower? I think Trey Lance is now going to become a little bit of a value where he's going right now. A guy I do really like. We got DK off the board here, so I'm fine with Montgomery or Lazard, so I'm not mad either way. But Montgomery, the guy is falling, but will present some slight value for us if he does fall. This guy has a quarterback, though. He's got Herbert. He does go Lazard here. It sucks, but we do got Montgomery, a guy we wanted anyways, so... Now I really would love Trey Lance to fall to us, and the reason why I think it's a little bit more possible Lance falls to us is because Kyler Murray's still on the board. I mean, that does leave a little room to say, okay, quarterbacks might fall a tiny bit in a draft like this, and it would really round out our team as well. I mean, I really would. Our team would be absolutely ridiculous if and only if Trey Lance falls to us. If not, we're going to have to figure it out. We'll probably end up taking somebody like Russ, because I do like Russ. I think Russ is a fun value. But anyways, if you guys are enjoying this video, please go down, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It would really mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for everyone who's watching. And best of luck to you guys in your drafts for this upcoming season. I know it's a pretty nerve-wracking time. Everybody wants to get their guys, their players, everything like that. So best of luck to you all. Let's get back into this draft here. We got Drake London still on the board too. A guy would be fine as my wide receiver 4. We just need a quarterback here. And if I can get one of these elite guys, if I can get Trey Lance here, that would make my day. I mean, this would just be a steal. We are 9 picks away, though, and he is coming up on his ADP now. So I'm imagining that the odds are low, but low does not mean 0. I mean, if not, I would even consider taking Chase Edmonds at pick 79, potentially. I would probably prefer him over Drake London here, just because we do kind of need a 3rd RB here. And I do really like Chase Edmonds. I mean, you'll see I'm coming out with an undervalued running backs video tomorrow. I do have my running backs 21 through 30 coming out today, sometime later today. So you guys will see, first of all, you'll see my running backs 21 through 30. So you'll get kind of an assessment of how I feel about these running backs right here, where I rank them, and all that jazz. But then also, I'm coming out with my undervalued running backs and undervalued wide receivers. So that way you guys should be all set up for your draft. Probably coming up in a couple days as well. It's the August 31st right now when I'm recording this. So, yeah, your draft's coming up in a couple days. We are, the way I look at it now is 3 picks away because 3 of these guys don't have QBs. We are 3 picks away. I mean, most likely this guy's Lamar. He's not going to want to do it. And this guy's Kyler. He's not going to want to do it. We're 3 picks away pretty much. Drake London goes, let's go. Okay. I'm hoping, I'm throwing up a prayer sign. Chase Edmonds off the board as well. Would have been our backup pick here, so a little bit unfortunate that he goes. Amari Cooper, I guess, would be fine here. Because he does have end-of-season upside, which I like. Now we are 2 picks away. I'm a little nervous, I'm not going to lie. But if we get Lance at a value, this team will be really good. If we don't get Lance at a value, then shit. This guy might snipe us there. He sniped us on a fair amount of picks. Yes, he does. So now we're kind of torn. Might go Russ here. Even though he's not a value per se, I think he's a fine pick here. And I do want at least a good quarterback one. So we are going to go Russ here. Little unfortunate. But after this, I think there is kind of a tier break here in my mind personally. I honestly don't even have Joe Burrow in this tier. I definitely have Russ ahead of Burrow here. Just in general. But I think there is definitely a tier break because none of these guys run the ball. Except for Dak a little bit. I think Dak you could consider in that tier. Maybe a tiny bit. But realistically, Tom Brady had 6 rushing yards 2 years ago. This is not a guy who runs. Somehow had 3 rushing touchdowns. Oh my god. Probably just from the crazy Tom Brady sneaks into the one, but so we do get Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson might have made it back to us. I mean, there was definitely a possibility, but I'm not willing to take that risk. 2 of these guys don't have quarterbacks, so that's 4 total picks we have in the way between our next quarterback. Amari Cooper's still on the board. Olave I like, Darius I like, and Clyde I like. Chris Olave off the board. We are 7 picks away, and there's 3 players we like, so odds are pretty low that we get one of them. But now, fortunately, the news with coming out with Brian Robinson, I mean, it does suck. Prayers go out to, him, his family, everyone like that. And he was actually seen back in the building as of yesterday, as of August 30th, which is really promising news. Because, I mean, that's pretty crazy. I couldn't imagine going through something like that and showing up to work 2 days later. I mean, that, for me, I would definitely be like, all right, I'm taking some time off here, going to rest, recuperate a little bit. But not Brian Robinson here. I wonder if he's still even coming off the board. I imagine he's probably not at this point. Oh, he is. But I was going to say, I imagine Antonio Gibson's starting to become a value here a bit. We could end up with Clyde here, realistically. That would be fine by me. That would be absolutely fine by me. Kadarius Toney would be fine by me. If we could just get one of these 2 guys. Clyde comes off the board. We can get sniped so much in this draft. It's actually crazy how much we've been getting sniped. It's been kind of painful. Pick 7 has just not been our day. But we have gotten some value here. I'm not gonna lie. T.J. Hawkinson. Okay, we'll take Kadarius here. Get our wide receiver 4. We do need another running back, but I was kind of looking at Kareem Hunt here in the next round, if he can make it back to us. Or potentially Dallas Goedert. So we can round out our tight end room, not have to worry about tight end for the rest of the draft. One of those type of guys, someone like that. But Josh Jacobs has come off the board here. A guy I think people are not sleeping on. I mean, honestly, I think Underdog is really accurate with Josh Jacobs right now. I mean, he's probably coming off as the running back 30-ish. What pick's he coming off right now? EP of 80? Actually, that's more than I expected, or less than I expected. It's better than I expected for him. But I mean, I would probably rather have Kareem Hunt straight up. I would probably. No, that's about it. After that, I'm pretty much capping here. But I would rather have Kareem Hunt straight up. Because Kareem Hunt, his role. With Josh Jacobs, his role is only set to decrease here. I mean, there's no way Josh Jacobs has a similar opportunity to what he's had in years past. George Pickens, wow. This is a dude I was taking absolutely everywhere, and now I'm a little hesitant to take him here. I mean, it's pretty big ADP, considering he's going to be the wide receiver 2 in this offense. James Cook, I think Devin Singletary is going to pass James Cook here. News has broken that James Cook will probably be the RB3. But I still value James Cook above Devin Singletary because, one, the Bills' offense was yearning for a running back. I mean, they wanted a running back badly here. They went out, tried to get J.D. McKissick, didn't happen. They went out, tried to get Chase Evans, didn't happen. So they want running backs here in Buffalo. So that's one of the reasons why I like James Cook. 2, he profiles to get a lot of the passing down work in this offense. And if that's the case, the Buffalo Bills pass a lot. fifth most passing attempts in the league last season. James Cook can get the 5% target share, 10% target share of that. That's good enough for a rookie running back that I think he will outproduce on his ADP. And he's also in the Bills' offense. So I personally am taking the shot on James Cook here. I think it's worth it just because he's in such a good offense and was a second-round pick, went to Georgia. There's pretty much nothing wrong here with James Cook. I like him. But I would prefer Kareem Hunt here overall. If Kareem Hunt makes it back to us. If not, James Cook's fine, though. Because, I mean, getting our RB3 here is something I really like, considering our strong wide receiver room, our good tight end. We have a really well-rounded team. Again, I feel like I've been doing that a little bit more lately, but having a well-rounded team is pretty nice. This guy got 3 running backs here. Wow, that's a nice wide receiver core, though. Oh, man. I like this guy's team, actually, a lot. I honestly like this guy's team a lot here. I really freaking like this guy's team. And he has Miles Sanders. I mean, I hate Miles Sanders, but fine, whatever. I like this guy's team a ton here. Oh, it's a different guy, actually. That makes more sense. He's got Kyler. Still, though, I like this guy's team a lot. I mean, Justin Jefferson and T. Higgins might not have been the picks I would have went with personally, but hey. Actually, I definitely would have went with Justin Jefferson at pick 4. I mean, especially you can get him because Derrick Henry. Some guy went Derrick Henry at pick 1, so. But anyways, we got Kareem Hunt. I would be fine taking James Cook here, just rounding out a running back room for the draft. Dawson Knox would be fine. Dawson Knox, the reason why I believe Dawson Knox is a fine pick, even though I feel like a lot of the advanced community has been bashing Dawson Knox, and it does make sense. He really isn't the most efficient player. Will have touchdown regression. But in the Bills' offense here, you're going to be having a lot of touchdowns. So I'm honestly kind of fine with taking. I'm honestly definitely fine with taking Dawson Knox here. Way more fine than I think a lot of the analytics community is. Because he does possess the potential to have a 40-point game. Or not 40 points, but, like 25-point game. So that's why I like him here. We're either going to go James Cook here or Stafford. I think this is a range where I don't really want to go wide receiver. The only wide receiver I would go is Ronald Moore here. Matt Stafford off the board. I was actually considering going Stafford here as well. I think Stafford would have been a fine pick. But, I was just gassing up James Cook, so I think I got to go James Cook here. Most likely, unless he's off the board. Then I'll take Rondelsky. Be close on their week 1 availability. This also means you can kind of throw them on. I wonder who will. Yeah, Cardinals will have to rely on Andy Isabella here. That's pretty interesting. Looks like we're not going to be taking our. We could go Patterson here, a guy I've pretty much taken in 0 drafts. A guy I think is undervalued, but I just don't want to take him. Honestly, that's my philosophy on. Okay, we do get sniped here though. I'm kind of torn between Kmet and Patterson here, but we're gonna go Kmet. I think he will have positive touchdown regression, or he pretty much has to, unless he has 0 touchdowns. And round out our wide receiver, or our tight end room. So now we just need to hit on this, because we can take Melvin Gordon in the next round. I'm fine with that. We could take a Kenny G here in the next round. Fields. Ooh, okay. We get a little Monty Field stack here. I think the Bears offense should be a little bit better this season. I don't know why I'm actually weirdly bought into the Bears, even though I think they're going to stink for fantasy purposes. I think all their ADPs are kind of slept on, honestly. I'm not going to lie, which is weird. I think Montgomery's being slept on right now. I think Mooney's kind of being a little slept on right now. I think Justin Fields is being a little bit slept on right now. I don't know why. I really like their ADPs. Oh, Romeo Doubs on the board as well. We are 8 picks away here. I don't think he'll make it back to us. Joshua Palmer could be a fine pick here. Wide receiver 3 for the Los Angeles Chargers. Jahan Dotson here, round 1 pick. Going right after a round 4 pick here, which is pretty funny. We definitely can't afford to take a running back here. We can't afford to take a running back here, no doubt in my mind. We pretty much need to go wide receiver or quarterback. Honestly, since Kirk Cousins is still on the board, though, I might try and wait until 138 to try and get a quarterback, even though I know Fields probably won't be there. I still do like Fields where he's going right now. Let's see, though. I don't think Romeo Doubs will be on the board. Kenneth Walker, what's the news with him? Oh, yeah, no timetable for return. Makes sense. Yeah, he is recovering from hernia procedure. Justin Fields off the board. Kirk Cousins still on and Fields off. Pretty interesting here. But I'm fine taking Romeo Doubs here. I'm fine taking Jahan Dotson here. Give me any of these players, I will be happy. So now that pretty much foils our plan, Romeo Doubs off the board. I'll probably go with Jahan Dotson here, realistically. Again, first round draft capital, and could be the wide receiver one in this offense, whereas Joshua Palmer has no chance unless Mike Williams tears his ACL and Keenan Allen lacerates another kidney here. So we're going to take Jahan Dotson. I think it's probably better here. Jalen Tolbert could be interesting as well. Maybe go Kenny G here, honestly, in the next round. A guy had 6 more touchdowns than Miles Sanders last season, despite way less attempts. Again, it's not because Miles Sanders is going to suffer from or had bad touchdown luck last season. I mean, he did. He had 0 touchdowns. But their plan is to use Kenny G in the end zone here. So that's why I like Kenny G here. And Alexander Madison might get traded here. Piques interest of RB needed teams. I mean, let's say he goes to a team like the Ravens. I mean, that would just be absolutely insane. I might pick up Madison here again if he is traded, or Cook misses time and he's the RB1, which he's proven to be over the past few years. I think he's a fine pick where he's going. Where the heck is what's his name? Is he just going way higher now? Michael Gallup went off the board at 110. Okay, interesting. We got Irv Smithy Poo over here. But yeah, we want Madison. Here. But Pacheco actually could be on the board for me. It's crazy just how many running backs they have, though. I mean, Clyde, Jerick McKinnon, and Ronald Jones will all make the cut. Just reading this right now, it is pretty interesting to see. 16 carries for 66 yards in the preseason. That's not bad. We might go Madison here, though, just because I do like having some good Madison stock here. And then just call it a day at RB. We will be done. That means we just need to hit wide receiver. And try and snipe another a value at quarterback as well. Just wherever we can get one. Whether it be Tua. I mean, honestly, since we have DJ Moore and Kadarius Toney, I think potentially going with Giants. I mean, or we could even go Jahan Dotson stack here. There's many different ways we can go with this because we have a lot of wide receivers on bad teams here. I mean, Kadarius Toney, Jahan Dotson, and DJ Moore are all on bad teams. So, I mean, I'm fine with targeting one of these bad quarterbacks here. I'm just going to star up all 3, actually. Daniel Jones, Baker, and Wentz. I guess the one I want the most is, I mean, probably Wentz at his ADP. But Daniel Jones at his ADP isn't bad either. I feel like Baker's that nice middle ground where he doesn't really rush the football or anything. And he's not really all that good of a passer either. So I probably want Daniel Jones the most realistically, depending on who's there wide receiver. But the wide receiver well has been drying up a lot. I mean, a lot of my guys that I really, really like have just been off the board here. We are 9 picks away now. Honestly, at 162, I'm going to try and take Christian Watson here. A guy, again, who's going to continue to fall down boards. And that is a little bit concerning here. Pacheco, I might actually go here, honestly, if he falls. Actually, no. Why the heck am I going Pacheco here? I think he's got a lot of hype around him, yes. But not a guy I think I should go here, realistically. Tua's still on the board as well. I think that's probably fine here. The problem is this area stinks. There's just no good wide receivers anymore. And there's not really that many good running backs either. I might go James Robinson here. Potential to be a really, really strong running back, especially he could be a standalone running back. And then if ETN goes down here, I think it'd be really good. Yes, we are going to be picking up 5. Actually, no, we don't need 5 running backs here. I think this core of 4 running backs is good enough. I don't know. Actually, I might go with James Robinson here if he makes it back to us, because we kind of are in a situation where our wide receivers are really good. We have 2 tight ends, and we can figure it out at running back. We can figure it out at quarterback here pretty late and be fine. So that's what we're going to do, I think. This guy has 3 running backs here, though, so he might snipe us. This guy's the king of sniping us here, so I wouldn't be surprised. But James Robinson, kind of a value here. So, I mean, I figure I probably should take him. And then hopefully Christian Watson in the next round. A guy who I don't care. I'm still taking everywhere. Let's see who this guy goes, though. Banner. He goes Njoku here. We're going to take James Robinson. Again, eyeing up a week 1 return. If that's the case, and if ETN goes down, again, he just came off Liz Frank injuries, so does have the potential to go down here. But we're going to be taking Christian Watson in this next round here. Even though he feels like a gross name, I don't really care. Gross names sometimes can win you championships. That's why I have David Montgomery here. That's why I have James Robinson here. I mean, this is kind of a gross team, but John Dodson, too, another gross name. Cole Kmet, another gross name. Actually, no. And Cole Kmet in the fantasy community has been hyped to death, so I take that back. But overall, I mean, we're in an interesting position here. Probably will go Christian Watson here, most likely. Probably will go Christian Watson and then Daniel Jones, if Daniel Jones is still on the board. Because right now, Daniel Jones is coming up at 168. Potentially falls to 175. And if that's the case, I'll gladly scoop him there. But I think 5 running backs more than enough, more than I usually go. I usually just go with 4. And my philosophy is that, like, if all of them stay healthy, then it's fine. If one of them good one gets injured, like let's say Eckler goes down, for instance, my season's already over. Picking up a guy like, I don't know, Joshua Kelly or Isaiah Spiller, like at this pick, is not going to help my team at all. I would only pick those type of guys. If I was going for, again, like an Alexander Madison, I would pick him because I don't have Dalvin Cook here. Like, if Dalvin Cook goes down and Madison starts, it's a net neutral for me. As a player, at best, it's a net neutral situation. Christian Watson goes off the board there. Goddamn you. Bench dip. But if Dalvin Cook goes down, Alexander Madison is at best a net neutral, probably 85% of what Dalvin is. But if I don't have Dalvin and Dalvin goes down, in this format, Madison's a lot more valuable. Because now I just have a free RB1 pretty much. Yeah, that's the way I look at it personally. So I'm never drafting a backup for my own team. I'm never going to be drafting Khalil Herbert when I have David Montgomery. I'm never going to be drafting Joshua Kelly when I have Austin Eckler, etc., etc. It's not worth it. It's never worth it. Don't do it. In best ball. In your redraft leagues, I still don't think it's worth it, but at least you can make a case for safety, especially in, like, playoff season. Like, I think to start your season, like, let's say you have Joe Mixon, and you want to take Samaje Perine. I personally wouldn't do that. I would personally take somebody else's running back. I would personally take somebody like Madison. Because, one, you're going to feel attached to Samaje Perine. You're going to be like, I don't want to drop Samaje Perine because I have Joe Mixon. What if this is the week he gets injured? And so you end up just wasting a roster spot on somebody that you're never actually going to play. But I think once playoffs comes around, like let's say you're 4 or 5 weeks out from playoffs, you do want that insurance policy because, I mean, the waiver wire at that point is pretty much dead, especially if you're in a 12-team league. The waiver wire is absolutely dead. I mean, there's nobody you're really hunting for on the waiver wire here at all. So it is kind of worth it to take up a Samaje Perine. But in week 2 of the season, there's still tons of unknowns during the NFL season, so that's why you'd want to pick up. You wouldn't want to pick up somebody like Samaje Perine unless you don't own Joe Mixon. In that case, for one, you can use him as a little bargaining chip. Go to the Joe Mixon owners, say like, hey, I do have your backup. And even though you know it's not worth it for them to do it, they don't know that. They might like having that backup, that insurance policy. But you know it's not worth it to have. We are going to go Daniel Jones here if he's on the board still. Van Jeff on the board as well. We could have two of these. I mean, if Cooper Kupp misses the season here, Van Jeff and A-Rob here would be absolutely insane. Be a dope combo. Probably not going to happen, though. I imagine Cooper Kupp does not miss the whole season, but it's football. Again, you never know. Anyone could get injured. We do have Daniel Jones still on the board, too. Somehow Baker came off beforehand. Let me check when Baker went off. Baker went off 165 here. These guys both have two QBs, and they're both two good QBs as well, so I imagine we're probably in the clear to get DJ here, but it's not over yet. I will say that much. Tyrion Davis-Price, efficient in second preseason game. Does come off the board as soon as I start looking at him here. Very, very sad about Ryan Robinson yet again. I hope he does come back and he does hit the projection of 111 points. Even though I wasn't drafting him before all this, I am rooting for him now. I mean, I just feel like it's such a crazy story. I think everyone's wishing nothing but the best for him in NFL circles. But anyways, I'm just going to be taking 3 more wide receivers here. So that's going to do it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really hope you guys do enjoy this basketball content. Best of luck in all your fantasy football drafts, whether it be against your friends, your family, your coworkers, whoever. Doesn't matter. Good luck. Have a good day, a good night, and a good life.